What's up, everybody?
So like, it's going well, Kyogre. Like, I farmed all of the character shards I needed for the day.
Oh, that's playing in the background, isn't it? We gotta stop that. That's for next week. That's for later. Cool. Alright, that's updated. Why does the graphic always show the wrong one? Whatever. How we doing, everybody? The graphic is so weird on YouTube, it never shows the up-to-date one. It's up to date. It just doesn't like me. What's going on, Bam? Pop out chat. Sure, I got chat going. Oh, good. Chat's working. Amazing. Amazing. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I agree, man. Happy the game went live. Happy I can even play today. So here's where we are. We are now, what's up, Swanee? We are now 2 weeks in. 2 months, sorry. 2 months into this account. We have spent a grand total of 130 some odd dollars. This month we made 2 purchases. We made the Kestrel $24.99 offer. And we made the $1.99 I hit 400k TCP offer. At the end of this, we will be looking at where I was at the 2-month point in the free-to-play. Obviously, the game has changed at this time, but, you know, these things happen. So, one thing I'm noticing is we're no longer at the reasonable period of time to gain experience. I need to gain about, you know, 9,000 experience. Should it say May spending? Oh, yes, it should. Sorry. This one, sorry. Some things I have feed from the spreadsheet I made. Some things I manually update. So, should be a lot of weird stuff here. So, this is rubbing against my hoodie. All right, and now we're good. So. Yeah, that's trying to find Clash Royale. I'm sorry to hear that. We're doing enough here. I'm fairly confident I can actually win this fight. So let me go in. Missed out on farming hand shards. Yeah. So that's it. We'll take a quick look at the roster. We'll take a quick look at what changed, what updates. And more importantly, what impact Kestrel has had, if any, since I bought her. Now, her event goes live today, so I'm going to look at my options for Voyager. And in addition, I'm going to look to see like what options would be better overall. There's no reason to taunt here. Let's get you out. Oh no, you stunned him. Thor is the damage threat on this team. No reason to waste Thor's ult here. Take some buffs. That'll do enough damage here. Okay, let's get rid of that taunt. Let's try to stun you. Now we can use Thor's ult. quick little speed up. Hulk smash. And now we'll just slowly eliminate everyone on this node. That doesn't matter. This Hulk can't actually out-damage me. This is fine. There we go. Cool. What's up, man? Yeah. So, again, I'm still saying that, like, Wave 1 Avengers are worthy investment, but you really get to stop, which is one of the beautiful... You thought I quit the game? Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So, Scope, we stole your gold. No, they didn't. Scope, we didn't take away any gold from you. Where are we going? Okay, so most important thing is in the watching what's happening with these guys story, we somehow managed to unlock Kree Oracle completely randomly far before we unlocked everybody else. I'm still tracking them, but I really could care less about them as characters. They, again, do not matter. McFury does not matter. The base build of the characters hasn't changed much because there hasn't been much I need to do. Surfer is representative of the strongest character reasonably accessible in the game at this point. Anybody who's been playing the game for the last month or so should have a Silver Surfer without worrying too much whether or not you happen to have a 2, a 3. For me, the price of the battle pass to get a 3-star Surfer is enough. He will be everywhere. This is a character that will be following me throughout the game because it's incredibly unlikely. Literally, if you look at it correctly, this Surfer is going to give me 1 year's worth of incredible value. That doesn't mean that he's going to be the best character across the board for a year, but I'm going to get so much use out of him for the foreseeable future that's very unlikely that a character is going to come out with the same amount of impact that Surfer will have for me. So buying him was a no-brainer. The Battle Pass was actually, or the Strike Pass rather, was actually a reasonable investment. Over buying offers, there was no reason. If I had more funding available, then yes, but again, if you have infinite money, you really don't have to worry about skill, strategy, anything along those lines. Captain Marvel was a gift. We all got, well, every player gets about 100 shards. Oh, of course. We're working real hard to get her, Nick. So Captain Marvel is farmable. You get a free Captain Marvel. She ends up pairing very well with Silver Surfer and has a little bit of extra value with Minerva. So between these three characters, you have kind of the basics of your early arena team without having to worry too much. It's a mystic character, a bio character, and a tech character. So now all we're looking for is who mix and matches in the middle. Zemo is one of the best characters in the game as of right now. One of the best characters you can get early. He's easy to access early in that he's available as quickly as you get him. I have been farming him as often as I can in the raid store. So this is the core of my team. That's where we've moved over the last 2 months, right? We bought, the first pack we bought was that shield pack to grab the yo-yo. These guys have been producing for me. They're fine, but right now we're done with them. Basically, we're looking at the Wave 1 Avengers as a 100k team. And if you want to like quick look at them, yeah, well, I probably got to make a couple moves on some of my Blitz teams now. But if we really want to take a look at the Wave 1 Avengers, we can see that Thor's going to be worked on for the next couple of ever. He's going to always be a relevant character in the game as far as progressing and unlocking characters. Cap, Hulk, Widow, and Hawkeye, we're looking to get these characters to a stable 20k or so. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be inadequate enough for a 100k team. As time progresses and as stars and red stars become more accessible on these characters, I won't have to put the gear investment in them later on when we get plenty of stuff. Later down the line, we can worry a little bit more. What are you doing with Marauders with no access to Emma? Well, that's the thing. I don't have access to Emma, so I'm not really working on the Marauders as a team. Sinister as an independent character, I'm paying attention to, but the biggest issue with Sinister is a very star-dependent character. Not many characters in this game are star-dependent. Most characters in this game have one of two designations. Kit dependency, and gear dependency. Stars tend to be just a little bit more superficial when it comes to characters, because very rarely does a star make much of a difference. A red star, different story, but a star doesn't make much of a difference. The problem is Sinister is one of the very few characters in this game where stars matter quite literally more than anything else, basically because of the effect that his power and his investment has on the cloned characters. A high-geared Sinister will be very strong, but without the stars to compensate for it, you're seeing a very similar approach to the opposing character. So if I were to clone, as a Sinister, if I was to clone an Ultron, I would have an Ultron. Ultron would be strong, but it would still only be a 3-star copy of Ultron, and as a result, those base stats of that character dropped dramatically. So Sinister is going to be a character I'm paying attention to, but not, like, it's hard to work on a character that needs so much to get value out of for anybody else. Everybody who was lucky enough to be a part of the Sinister event when it was poppin', you know, like when it first came out, it is always going to have a more depth investment in Sinister. Plus, Sinister's a hard farm from the War Store when so many of the relevant legendary unlocked characters in that store are also incredibly relevant. Even if you look at X-23, Ghost, etc. So as far as Wave 1 Avengers, we used them. We spent $24.99 on a team that was going to help me progress through the early game in a relatively meaningful way and have a lot of value. We don't have to work on them anymore. Even if I were hypothetically not spending as much money, or if that was my only purchase, I would still be looking to what other characters to look at. Well, that's the title of the stream, Delviar. Is 7/7 Ultron clone way stronger than the real thing, even as a clone? Yes. So when you clone a character, it has a reduction in 2 stats: health and damage output. So the higher it doesn't get Sinister's stats, it gets Sinister's investments. So if I have a gear tier 15 Sinister, whatever I clone is going to be the same gear tier, a gear tier 15 version of that character, but it's going to also have a minus 30% health reduction and minus 20% damage reduction. So and those numbers are estimated, they're around there. So those numbers going down is going to matter significantly more at lower investment. Think the same math. If I have a 3/3 Sinister and I clone an Ultron, that Ultron is still only going to have the base build. If you go to like msf.gg to find out, that it's only going to have the base stats of what Ultron would have at those levels minus the reduction. Now, clearly the reduction doesn't matter that much. Percentages, like 30% off of 10 is 3. 30% off 10,000 is 3,000. You know, like the higher it is, the bigger the number comes up. But still, you're still getting a subpar version of the character. That's why Sinister is a phenomenal character, but I've always said, like, there's 2 different Sinisters in the world. Before it was, there's a 50k Sinister, and there's there's under 50k Sinisters and over 50k Sinisters. Now it's actually moved up a little bit. Now it's closer to 80k. So if you have a Sinister that's under 80k, he'll still be good, but he won't be producing nearly as much as the second he reaches 80k, because the clones that you get are going to have base stats equal to an 80k version of that character, obviously, with a slight reduction that's not really going to matter. Characters like Ultron have more value than, let's say, if you were to clone Silver Surfer, but or Black Bolt or something. Those characters will really start feeling it. Ultron at least has minions that do something, or a kit that's particularly relevant. So there are benefits to it anyway, but you just can't really invest that much. Was one of Red Star's affected Ultron clones? Yes. Whenever you clone someone with Sinister, it gets all of Sinister's investment, so you can actually technically have access to a 7 Red Star, 7-star Sinister Ultron if you were to clone it. The minions still work the way the minions normally work. It becomes a copy of that character, just with significantly reduced health and damage. Yeah, for example, cloning Cull Obsidian is amazing, because Cull Obsidian's not a particularly good or worthwhile character, but as the 5th character on a team who can taunt and literally not die due to stacks of death proofs, the higher investment your Sinister has, especially tier 4s, the more likely Cull's passive and spawning extra death proofs comes into play. Prefer Maw over Cull when fighting Black Order? It really depends on your build. The thing about Maw is he actually doesn't add anything to your team. There's a huge... People believe Maw is a better character than he is. And that's crazy because Maw is probably, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, Maw's like a solid 8.5. You know, like, he is amazingly good. But people seem to believe Maw is, like, god tier. Or even when he came out, they believed he was a god tier, one of, it like game-breaking character. And realistically, he wasn't. He never was that good. He had one ability that was useful outside of that, of like his team and on his team. The rest of his abilities just kind of facilitated what the Black Order did. So as a character on his team, phenomenal. As a standalone character, people seem to think that his special is way better than it is. Like, you get defense up and they get offense down. That's still really only good for about a turn of sustain, and I would prefer to have something a little bit more, someone once said, Maw does what Shuri and Yo-Yo does, so it's one character to do 2 things. That's not true at all. Shuri puts 2 turns of defense up on, as well as provides value in the form of healing and deflects in raids and stuff. And Yo-Yo, regardless of whose turn it is, Yo-Yo is constantly making sure your opponents have offense down. Much stronger overall investment. Those 2 characters do so much more than what Maw's one ability does that it's not even a comparison. You know? Affecting Phoenix was part of the hype of Maw. Yeah, it was... Yes. To be fair, a lot of Kestrel's hype is in the same conversation, and people aren't evaluating Kestrel properly. Kestrel is a great character, hands down, and she actually has a kit that mimics what you could imagine to be legendary characters. She has a kit on par with Doc Ock and Black Bolt, and even Maw. Like, what her kit does is very overpowered. And you can always see it based on one rule. How long it takes you to read the passives is indicative of how strong a character is. Her ultimate is a little bit of Black Bolt. Actually, it's more like a little bit of Zemo. This attack specifically prevents characters from being revived. And it's a really big damage attack. It's 500% piercing into defense down, goes up to 600 with the tier 4 investment. Totally a reasonable thing. This apply defense down for 2 turns is quite literally hilarious, because if this doesn't do enough damage to kill the character, they were never going to be long. Like, they're still going to be dead real soon, or you don't care, so that's one step. Lightspeed Blitz, useful ability, like super useful ability. This is kind of like her bread and butter, actually. This is the best ability she has, because it's an AoE defense down that hits twice. And gets so much. So this attack's unavoidable. Like, every ability she has, if you, close your eyes and read what Black Bolt, think about what Black Bolt's kit does, not read, you'll see it's, very similar. So she's a legendary character. Yeah, sure, go ahead, Chris. Then we have Aerial Ace, the basic, this is a 2-character defense down, but it gets counterattacked. So even her basic is pretty reasonable. So for what she's doing, there's so much value in this one character. Look at it like a power spike character. There's just very few characters you have in access to in the beginning of the game that does what Kestrel can do from a damage perspective. And then when you look at her passive and get a little bit of control over the fight, when you prevent other summoners, her existence, especially for rosters that are not as wide, like early game players like myself, she just does so much. So much. Like, the first person to get Ultron is no longer a threat to me. I don't have to race to get Ultron to have a better standing in my arena shard because I have Kestrel. So now I have a control against Ultron on defense, which is amazing, you know? I still have to end up building a good defense team, but that's easier said than done. For the most part, that is more of a whaley investment decision, or a bad decision. Shard in my pants. Nice, Alex. Yeah, last night was fun. Think of Kestrel in the same way you would think Hela. If you started the game right now, or if you think about when you started the game, right? Imagine how much different your experience would be if the first character you unlocked was a Hela. You know, like you opened a Mega Orb and Hela was inside of it. It's huge, right? What Hela does is so much better than what comparable other characters at the low level of the game do. She's better by a margin than like any individual character you're going to come across. That's kind of where Kestrel's value is for newer players. In the end game, you see a lot of players who are like 7+ million power, who are like talking about Kestrel as if she's the divine coming. She's, for players like me and above, she is at best another option to accomplish tasks that were previously easy to do. There was no issues for 11, 12, 13. I would even go back and say like 9, 10 million players. So she's the thing is, the impact she's going to have on my growth as a player on this account is astronomically higher than the impact she's going to have on my main account. And that's something I don't think a lot of people see. I'm at the point in the game where I'm close to being able to get into DD4. Is the next legendary impactful enough for them to get 50, to give them $50 to get prepped? Because this shit is getting old. I don't think there's an issue with the current pool of legendary characters. I believe that the options currently available for DD4 are good enough. So I don't think that, regardless of who the next legendary is and how she... Shit. How they unlock. Sorry. You should probably not worry too much about them from a DD4 perspective. Hopefully that helps. Is it a good idea to design punk DD characters with an event character? That's the best use of the word myopic I've ever seen, Alec. My biggest issue with Kestrel is not that she's a good character, not that she's, you know, a fun character. My biggest issue with Kestrel is very simply, Kestrel is a character that we are going to have to deal with for the rest of the game. It was bad enough when we would do fights and we'd see, like, Black Bolt on them, right? Like, you can't res, ha ha ha. Kestrel does what, like, Dark Dimension Black Bolts and Dark Dimension Doc Ox do to such a ridiculous degree that if you ever try to do a node with Mr. Sinister, like, if you can bring Mr. Sinister into a node, you have to believe now that future Dark Dimensions and raids even, wherever Sinister is a viable option, Kestrel will be there to hurt you as a player. And that's something that... it's bad design. As a character, if her passive didn't prevent summons or clones, she'd still be a phenomenal character. She just does too much for free. She does too much to be a giveaway character. Cheers, mate. Happy to help him here. From a game perspective, unless it's a new team, use them on regular shit. Is this a vanity legendary? Okay, so 3 things. 1, there is no evidence to convince anybody that the next legendary is unlocked by Heroes for Hire. I just think it is. So there's no reason to believe that the Heroes for Hire characters will unlock the next legendary. That said, I just suspect they are. So I've been buying them. I bought Colleen and stuff, you know, like that's just me. And if I'm wrong, so be it. I don't mind buying a war defense character. Like, it's okay. But there's no evidence. The second thing to mention is I have reason to believe that whomever the next legendary character is not a character that you would be comfortable not having regarding progression for the future of the game. For example, it is reasonable for you as a player to not have access to Jubilee on her first pass. It just delayed the amount of time by which you can do some of the harder parts of U7 or Doom Raid by the time it takes for her pass to come back. So Jubilee was a character that you legitimately could skip because you didn't need to have her. There were other options to accomplish what she was good at. Granted, if you were trying to do Doom Raids and you didn't have Jubilee, you literally couldn't. Like, that's its own thing. But that just means don't do Doom Raids yet. Simple, right? The next legendary, I think, is going to be impactful, but not as a character, more as what that character is going to help you do in the future. That said, if you miss her or him on the first pass, there is a very, very, very good likelihood that a second pass of that character will show up before you need to access them. It makes sense that this character might be an important one. Maybe not day one important. Think like Jubilee. Like, Jubilee could be impactful on day 1 to you, or could be completely nothing to you. You know, like, it depends on where you were in the game. Time to break glass and give us Rogue and Gambit? No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Anyway, Kestrel's awesome. If you have the money to buy her, that's fine. So let's take a quick look now, because we're talking about Kestrel, at this magic tag and what we're going to have to do. So, assuming full access, right? I have Surfer, Captain Marvel, I already bought Kestrel, and then I have Elsa, Bloodstone, and Iron Man. These 3 characters are the characters that I'm going to win with, if that makes sense. There's very few characters that really stand out. So let's instead of talking about which characters we would use, let's instead go back and discuss the characters that are not good. Because anybody can say, who are the best 5 characters for this? Surfer, Captain Marvel, Kestrel herself, Ghost, and Falcon is probably the best 5 independent characters. But that doesn't matter, because not everybody has all of these characters. So let's work backwards, right? Nick Fury. If you're using Nick Fury for this event, I have some bad news for you. That's bad, because Nick Fury sucks. But if you have a Nick Fury, that's okay. Bishop will not add any value to this event because he's missing so much of the rest of his team and what matters to him that it doesn't matter. Same with Polaris and Multiple Man. Yes, they're newer characters, so if you have them, great, but maybe Multiple Man has a little bit of value. Polaris is quite literally useless for as far as like impact on a random team of 5. Mr. Fantastic and Storm fall in the same categories. Who cares whether they're there or not? Moon Knight is not great on his own, so you can get a little bit value. But that's fine. Falcon is always a good character wherever he can be used because of his special, because he allows the better characters on your team to move up. Ghost right here, great character if you got her, use her, no question. Wasp, completely useless character. don't worry about it. Yellow Jacket's a coin flip. If you happen to have him and you happen to have investment in him, you know, you could probably get a little bit of extra value out of him. Rocket, useless character in the game right now. Any investment you put into him past like 30k, you know, gear tier 10 max, is going to end up being negative for you, so don't worry about it. White Tiger, phenomenal single target damage dealer, but that's quite literally all she's good at. So if you have her, again, an option, that's great, but don't bring up White Tiger for this. Use a White Tiger you're bringing up or already brought up for war. You should be okay. Gru actually does have a little bit of value in these kinds of game modes, mostly because he does provide that death proof with right investment. Gru is a cool character because you don't need a lot into him. He doesn't have to be very strong or high investment. He really just needs a decent amount of purple ability materials. If I were to use Gru, I wouldn't feel that bad about it. He gives the rest of your characters an opportunity to stay alive. Vulture is a useless character. America Chavez and Thing are useless characters. Shield Assault, we're not even talking about Shield Assault. Shield Assault is kind of more of a, if you use the Shield team with Kestrel, wink, you know how they always have that theme going on? War Machine, don't even talk about him. Iron Man, if you gotta use the combo specifically to get the death proofs on him, that's a fine option, but ultimately not optimal, unless you have them already there. Medic's always a great option. She is a great cross-the-board healer, so don't worry about her. Spider-Man is useless. Daredevil is useless. No questions there. Doctor Strange, interesting, right? Doctor Strange isn't good on his own, per se, but the res is reasonable, especially if you happen to be using Elsa. So Doctor Strange's value goes up, 1, of course, with investment, and 2, whether Elsa's present. If I had the means, I would probably work a little bit more on Doctor Strange to replace Iron Man, but ultimately, I don't believe that a 10k Doctor Strange is going to do too much for the fight. So as far as Voyagers are concerned, the characters you really want to look at are these two. Most people who are watching this video should have both of these characters. If you're currently watching right now, it is incredibly unrealistic that you don't have access to both of these characters. We literally just had a Surfer given to us last month through gameplay, at 2-star, and I think even then, even a 2-star Surfer is probably worth more of an investment than any other Mystic character you'd have. So that's probably where that gear should go. And then Captain Marvel is given away to everybody with the purchase of a Happy Meal and farmable early in the game. These two characters are kind of like mainstays. The rest of the team is a combination of what you got and you know what it takes, like what they add to these two characters. For me, I'm a little sad. Like, I know these three will be contributing the most work, but I'm a little sad because I don't want to work more on Elsa Bloodstone, which is, for the record, one of the reasons why I bought Kestrel. If I thought this event, the Voyager event, would have been easier to attain for me, for example, if it took Wave 1 Avengers, you know, characters I've already invested in, I probably wouldn't have bought Kestrel because I knew I'd unlock her through gameplay. I'm questioning whether or not I'll be able to complete the hard mode. I couldn't complete the last hard that came out without a significant investment that I wasn't going to make in characters that weren't particularly useful. So I bought Kestrel to have her and to help me be a little bit stronger. Now, someone asked a question as I was talking about that. I heard you mention before that one should not bring White Tiger into DD4. Can you elaborate? Okay. If you bring a single target damage dealer into a game mode that is built around characters that are triple their normal health pool and double their normal damage stats, you are spending gear in a character that truly doesn't need it to accomplish a task that can be done better by characters that are better invested. White Tiger is not a Dark Dimension 4 character. White Tiger is a great war offense character. That is where White Tiger's value stops. What you do with your White Tiger does not make White Tiger a good character. It actually illustrates the lack of knowledge of the depth of the game that a player could have on this topic. The answer is both, Amir. Yeah. And I'm not saying you specifically, NDR Omar. I'm saying you, like, whoever is. So, like, let me use I always use an example on my main account. I have a gear tier 15 Sabretooth that I brought in not because it was a good option, but because I was confident enough that the rest of my team would do the job in a meaningful and quick way. I beat the first 5 nodes of Dark Dimension 4 immediately. The third node, the third global node, or the 6th node of Dark Dimension 4, it took me 3 days to beat. It could have been one shot had I had a better investment, but since, one, I didn't have 16 characters ready, so it wasn't like a race for me, and 2, I got to spend very little resources on 2 characters, Sabretooth and Black Widow. It was okay. If you calculate the training mats needing to get 16 characters to 80, you won't waste training mats on other characters. It's not a waste. That's what I'm saying. There's no such thing as a waste of mats. There's no such thing as a waste of materials, like Nebula, but that's it. The question is, what are you trying to do? So, for me, completing Dark Dimension 4 is quite literally the only thing I have to do in this game. So it's a high priority, but not insofar that I have to stop what I'm doing, spend more money, and target everything throughout the day. You know? It's just not there. I'm not racing in the way that some of the other players were racing, so you're not going to see completely useless... Nope, nothing that I know of, DJ. So it's not like, if I've gone on record to talk about the best 5 character teams that are currently available for Dark Dimension 4. I'm not entertaining any conversations on this topic because people tend to make arguments that are outside of the pocket, as we call it. The best, like, for example, the best team of 5 characters for the cosmic nodes, without a doubt, the best team of 5 is Hela, Silver Surfer, Minerva, Longshot, and Shatterstar. Those 5 characters together are capable of easily one-shotting not every node, but all 3 nodes, like, as in none of them will die. That team. Now, someone will say, as always, what about so-and-so and such and such? Those are not part of the answer to how do I beat Dark Dimension 4. Those are part of the answer to what characters are worthy of bringing up to Gear Tier 15. No, you're 100% right, Greg. That's what we're agreeing on. So someone always says, what about Kestrel? And the answer to what about Kestrel is don't worry about Kestrel, because whether or not you're going to invest in Kestrel as a character, she's not going to do anything beneficial to what you're trying to accomplish in Dark Dimension 4. Very similarly, characters like Zemo. Zemo does one very important thing in Dark Dimension 4. He loads into a fight and removes buffs. That's something that comes in handy a lot. He then immediately dies and provides no other value to your team. But that one investment for Dark Dimension 4 makes him worthy because outside of Dark Dimension 4, he's a powerhouse. It moves the same with characters like... let me think of another example. So take that exact same logic and apply it to a global character, right? I brought in Black Widow. Black Widow was definitely not a character that outside of Dark Dimension 4, I'd be excited to bring up to a high investment. However, because her investment cost was so low and she had a value in Dark Dimension 4, not like a great option, but some value in Dark Dimension 4, being a targeted stun with the ability to speed up my team and debuff characters. The cost of entry for her, and being a skill character, obviously, the cost of entry for her was so low that, yes, I could have saved up a little bit longer and brought up a better character. Or I could use all the gear I get from the clear to bring up that character anyway. And over time, it's, you know, it's a battle of you versus time, so it doesn't really matter. You could take as much time as you feel comfortable taking. If I had infinite time, I would never have brought the Sabretooth and her in. because I'd have infinite time and infinite access to stuff. But as we know, things that are good today start losing value. Valuable things age like milk in this game. Very rarely does something hold its value for as long as you would care for it to. Even characters like Black Bolt, he's been out for a little bit over a year now, and he's losing value. He's not useless, but he's losing some of the value from like parts of game modes. That's where it comes in. Doom is already being like one-upped in the game. So the value of Doom has dropped dramatically. But you know what has actually helped me? The fact that I've been getting 5 red star orbs to coincide with the characters that have come out recently. So on my main account, I have 5 red star orbs that coincide with Kestrel's release, Silver Surfer's release, Colleen Wing's release. I'll have another 5 red star orb, or if I have one, I don't remember. By the time Misty Knight comes out, I'm gonna have access to high impact things whenever. And guess what? If it took me another month to get there, whatever characters come out next patch that might be impactful to have red stars on, I'm gonna have it there. So it's on its own. My best guys get 2-shotted. No, DD3 is stupid. You're welcome. The DD3 is not broken. It's stupid. But that's an overall investment conversation. So that's for Voyager. Outside of that one thing, the one major note, so he's 11, right? He's done. As we've been talking about, something we've been kind of talking, worth blowing my 5 red star orb. Colleen, worth it? It's worth opening a 5 red star orb on any character that you intend on having to at 5-star soon. Soon is relevant. So you can open a 5 red star orb for Colleen if you intend on having a 5-star Colleen. I wouldn't open a 5 red star orb for Colleen, a individual character that I don't think I'm gonna get to 5 stars for a period of time. I wouldn't open a 5 red for Moon Knight, for example, because it was incredibly unlikely that I was going to get anything major out of Moon Knight. That said, 5 and 6 red star orbs are phenomenal to open on any legendary character that ever comes out. Whenever, like, if they release a legendary and have, well, technically, I don't believe they have boosted red stars for legendaries, but those are important for that time frame. Well, no, they do, because you're always gonna get a 6 red star legendary, 6-star legendary, right? No matter what happens, you will get whatever legendary that comes out to 5 or 6 stars. So at least if you open it during that period of time, you're going to get something that you know for a fact has a date, and it's usually anywhere from 3 months beyond. 0 intent to bring a Phoenix? No, you don't have to bring Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix. Oh, the biggest mistake people make when going into DD3 and thinking Phoenix is necessary is that they don't remember that Phoenix as a single character does more than what most other 2 global characters can accomplish, right? That's why Phoenix was so important, because you didn't have to you could bring in 1 character into Dark Dimension 3 and fight the node, you know? So that was a big deal. As of lately, the value of Phoenix in Dark Dimension, she's still good because you're still going to get value out of her, but she is not part of a team that's going to help you one-shot a node. That said, the investment in Phoenix isn't bad, so you're going to use her for the next Dark Dimension, most likely, if possible. She's gotten a little bit less valuable outside of that game mode for now. We'll see if that keeps up or if maybe something changes. Because of all the legendaries, the legendary who's held their value for the longest is Magneto. Magneto still is among one of the most impactful and useful legendary characters in the game. Black Bolt is probably going to end up in the same category, but characters like IW and Shuri, they fall off a little bit as better options or teams kind of take away from them. So I haven't noticed that. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think it's. I think that like you're not gonna have as easy a time without Phoenix, but I also think if you're bringing in the correct pool of characters, you'll have a fine time. Keep in mind, correct is not subjective. Correct is objective. There are correct characters for Dark Dimension 4. There are characters which the investment will allow you to accomplish the nodes in the best possible way. That is correct. That doesn't mean you can't use anyone you want. That doesn't mean you can't bring in Sabretooth. Sabretooth is not the correct choice for DD4. Right? He was never the correct choice. He was a choice, and I justified it by saying he's cheap enough that I don't have to worry about it. Sinister Ghost Zemo for global. Something needs to keep Sinister from dying. I wouldn't recommend. So the only thing that team is kind of missing is Emma, but that team, those 3 characters are good. Basically, here's what it comes down to, man. Like, if you notice you're having a rough go of it, the only thing that sucks is you just have to then work on another character. So it doesn't actually kill you as bad as you think it is. None of those characters are wastes, keep in mind. Any of those, all 3 of those characters are characters you're going to be bringing into Dark Dimension 4, so don't feel bad about it. You know, like, as long as if you're working on a character for Dark Dimension 3 that you're going to use in Dark Dimension 4, it doesn't matter if it's optimal. Well, by definition, it is optimal, but it shouldn't be a problem. Was the correct Cosmic Node DD4 SS Hela Minerva Proxima? Not even slightly. That was not correct. Was that the correct team? Proxima is not part of correct. Proxima is not part of correct. Like, the correct... Because remember, there's no correct... You can't have a correct 4-character team. You're missing an entire character. Like, correct... And guess what? The correct team is going to change. If they release a cosmic character next month that is more impactful than what's going on, you know, like, then the correct team could change. As it is, people beat Doom, Dark Dimension, without Surfer. So he wasn't the correct character, and then he came out, and then he was the correct character, you know? Thought the skill mats would make sense. It's nothing to do with correct. Correct is the best option. Correct is what is the right choice. That has nothing to do with mats. Hela is correct. Hela is a correct character to bring in. Hela is one of the best characters to bring into Dark Dimension 4. End sentence. Begin new sentence. Hela takes a lot of investment. These are 2 separate sentences. People consider them one. They're not. Hela is a very expensive character. Sentence over. Hela is the best option. One of the best. Not even an option. Hela is as close to mandatory to have a good run as possible. Doesn't mean you can't do it without her. How much gold did you end up getting before the service? 0. I was at Popeye's Chicken. I was getting Popeye's Chicken, bro. Then I got told that I had to go online. I had to go live last night, so I went live. Yeah. Yeah. I know 100 people who didn't bring Hela in. And they're like, and it only took me X days to do it. And I'm like, that's cool. It took me a total of 8 days to clear the cosmic nodes with my comp. If I had replaced Thanos with Silver Surfer, I probably could have one-shot the first 2 nodes. Oh, they already messed up too, by the way. I don't want to go into detail on it, but they already messed up again. There's a couple of things that they didn't well, so the beautiful thing is everything I had said last night in... Why? You got all that gold still? No. Everything I said when like Mobile was talking, we were all talking, everything I said is exactly what happened. I was like, they can't just roll back because rolling back creates a new problems that they have to address. And lo and behold, they're like, this is what we rolled back to because this was the timestamp that we had. And these are the problems that I said were going to happen. And then they're like, we're going to work real hard over the next couple weeks to get all this sorted out, which translates into they're going to mess up more. Does it affect everybody? No. So if it doesn't affect you, then it doesn't affect you, right? But it's going to affect a lot of people who spent money. Most importantly, if you bought Colleen Wing during that period of time, you're going to be in a real bad spot, because whatever you pulled in Colleen Wing, you're going to pull again. Additionally, there are people who bought Colleen Wing, right? Both of the offers. They got those offers removed, and then when they came back in, the Colleen Wing offers were back, so they bought them again. So there are people who are about to have more Colleen Wing offers added to their account, or orbs rather, than they were allowed to buy, and that's not an exploit. Like, nothing about what happened was an exploit, because the game messed up and then reverted. There was no, like, it was doing it. Go Sinister, MN, Black Widow. Node 8? Which one's Node 8? Oh, that's the last node. That's the Fury Shield and everyone counterattacks you and God. Yeah, that node sucks. You're gonna be there forever. Good luck, man. That node sucks. That's literally the worst node in all of Dark Dimension. That is worse than the city node in DD4. You didn't get those cores back? You should have got those cores back. Oh, you got the cores back, but because they reverted the accounts, but you didn't get the shards because of the event. Yeah, that's another thing that would go in there. Everyone in the game banned for exploit. Well, that's the whole point. No one did anything. People have the misconception that there was an action that was taken that allowed that to happen. No. Yeah, the event ended. You're right. Yeah. Anyway, back to this game. So this is my Mystic character. Okay, what I was talking about previously was I'm at the point where blue gear is frivolous to me. I could easily obtain any pieces of blue gear I need for characters, but purple gear is at a premium. So getting Surfer to 11 is quite, like, at this point, there is no more gear for Surfer. It costs too much to bring a character from 11 to 12 compared to bring a character from 8 to 10. So now, even though, yes, in the grand scheme of things, Surfer good, Surfer strong. Sorry, it's my best average Marvel Strike Force player opinion. Even though, yes, Surfer is good and strong, the investment in Silver Surfer to make him stronger is not as impactful as bringing up, just for the sake of the conversation, Elsa, Mordo, Heimdall, Scarlet Witch, theoretically White Tiger, Loki, Moon Knight, if you were to have him, Elektra, in theory. Well, again, if you don't have White Tiger, Moon Knight, Elektra doesn't matter. So that's 5 other characters. So getting Surfer to 12 is not as important now. Yeah, absolutely, Heimdall. Do you know you need to have some investment in Heimdall in order to unlock Black Bolt? It doesn't have, again, I'm not talking about getting him to gear tier 12. We're talking about gear tier 8, gear tier 9. How do you gear tunes? You do one at a time or a couple at once? There's no rule. I work on characters that need investment. And you know a character needs investment if it can't do something you need that character to do. So for example, if you need your Nebula to do something, you've made a mistake, because you don't need Nebula for anything, and that's called bad advice. It's like if you need your defenders to do something. No, you don't. You need better characters to do something. So I know that Silver Surfer's a great character. I need him to be able to win in war and raids and everything like that. And as of right now in the game, he is. So I'm totally fine not investing any more into him. You know what I see? Mordo seems like a good long-term investment. Mordo's a pretty decent investment. The major point of a lot of this is like Elsa, Mordo, Doctor Strange, supernatural characters, right? No problem. Ghost Rider hit 10. Cool. Hela is at 10. I would like to get Hela stronger over time, obviously, but that's not going to be easy. So because getting her stronger, especially with Kestrel existing right now, Hela lost a lot of value for an early game player. She's no longer the answer to defense. Anyone who has a Kestrel can just walk right over your Hela comp, basically. And that's its own thing. That's an arena meta strategy plan that I'm working out. But Elsa Bloodstone is a worthwhile investment to put together for the Supernatural team, which is now a war team I get to use. So as far as the gear is concerned, Surfer is good. These characters are fundamentally done. I don't have to invest more gear into them. Hela needs stars, you know. Mordo could use both stars and gear. Elsa could use both stars and gear. Doctor Strange needs gear more than he needs anything else right now because he's sitting here at gear tier 8. So now my Mystic gear is looking to go into characters like Doctor Strange, like Heimdall. Maybe Scarlet Witch, probably not. She's not that impactful, but she will be in the future with her rework whenever that hits. Elektra later, much later, is going to be relevant. Not now, because I don't have to worry about the Shadowlands team for obvious reasons, but there's no reason to work on Elektra now, so she's ready for Shadowlands. Like that's don't waste resources on a character that isn't good now because they'll be good later. Use resources when the character is useful. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of Mystic gear for these 3 characters. But White Tiger is going to come out. I'm going to invest in White Tiger. She will be a meaningful character for quite a bit of things I do, actually, is in like Gorilla Game. It's really fun, but here everyone say Hela replaces Elsha. Should I sleep on her or no? One thing I could tell you is if everyone in this game says it, it's probably wrong. But that's not because of like the standard issue, you know, if it's the most agreed upon thing. Basically, like everybody tends to follow whatever advice they heard from the lowest common denominator. So yes, Hela does work very well with the Supernatural team, but that doesn't mean that you're doing that. I actually end up replacing Scarlet Witch with Hela because I like because dead characters don't counter you. Dead characters don't. But again, we're talking about very specific things. The Hela Natural team is good at beating 2 very specific teams. That makes it an option, not an end point. Like, that is a option you can use. So there's no reason to not invest in a character when the Supernatural team itself can beat so many teams because you want a very specific investment. Oh man, I wish you had told me. I wish anyone had told me that earlier. Thanks, guys. Half this YouTube stream is going to be echo, Tony. Anyway, so that's that. Let's go to bio too, because what I really like to look at is what the future looks like. So Captain Marvel, again, another character where I don't feel like Captain Marvel is going to benefit from any more gear. I'll get some more stars on her, but I think gear tier 10 is kind of where she's gonna live for an extended period of time. I might put more into her over time if I need, again, a cosmic or a bio character. Whatever role she fills, I might put more. But there's no reason for me to look at her as like, go all the way. I'll farm the last star. I'll try to get 4 and 4. I know. I saw it. I just didn't know it was happening. I can't tell if it's happening until someone tells me, but if it's happening, I could stop it. So this is as much as a character investment. Obviously, I kind of want to put more into here, but tier 4s or tier 3s are at a premium for me. Might get her a little bit up in level, might get a little bit more stars on her. She's done, right? I don't have to worry about her. Cap and Hulk, useless. They're done. They get nothing for the duration of the game. There's going to come a point in time when I have the option of using Wave 1 Avengers for something. On that day, we're going to look at working on them. We're not going to prepare my characters today for something they need to be tomorrow. That's not planning. That's wasting today's gear for next week's value. You could just save today's gear and use it next week. This way, if you need something today, you can do it today. Don't worry about what happens next week. Worry about what you're doing today. If everything is great today, worry about tomorrow. If the foreseeable future is great, go home. Why would you worry about anything? Yo-Yo is the character that I'd like to put more gear in because 1, I will not be getting any shards of her anytime soon. 2, these are not getting touched, right? None of these abilities matter until the day I unblock Black Bolt. So I'm not even going to pretend for a minute. like I care about investing in her as a character. This is what she wants. This is what she gets. This is why I'm going to be utilizing her for the foreseeable future. So I'll probably see a world where I bring her up in level, but again, she's at my level cap. And gear is pretty reasonable. Getting her to 11 might make a little bit of a difference. Depends on the raid. Swarm is useless. Rhino's useless. Green Goblin. So these characters right down here, my goal is to unlock Shuri without any of them seeing purple gear. I don't know how likely that is. You know what I mean? But we're gonna try. I'm not working on them because I don't have to get them to a level for Shuri because Shuri is permanent. So Swarm's got his 5th star, we're done with Swarm. Rhino's got his 5th star, done with Rhino. Green Goblin is still being farmed every day, so I'm not worried about getting him until he gets his 5th star, and that goes the same with the other characters. Venom, not a part of this comp yet. We're not in a world where we're using any of the symbiotes, so we don't worry about it. Luke Cage, Daredevil, ha 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 ha, we're all laughing. Spider-Man useless, JJ useless. Squirrel Girl a little bit higher value, but not so much, not more than like Ms. Marvel, but close. Stature is someone I'm kind of keeping a short track on because I might end up working on Stature to go with Ghost for what I plan on using her for. Garbage, 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 garbage. Notice Scream is still not unlocked. Electro will be unlocked one day. None of these characters are high priority. Symbiote Spider-Man's now at 65 of 100. One day. I'm happy to help out. Ancient Scarlet Reaver is coming anytime soon. I can't define soon. US Agent was supposed to come out last month, and he didn't. So if I had to guess, based on previous actions, US Agent will be out in December of this year. When it comes to the Scarlet Witch's rework and Vision's rework, it could be any time between the next patch and the beginning of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There's no control. They do not release things in proper order. MODOK's supposed to be coming out, but he's probably not going to be added to the game for the foreseeable future. He's supposed to be a milestone character. And we don't know when that's going to happen, so. That's it. Yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man is the next bio character of any relevance to me, and I'm so far away from him that I really don't care. The rest of the Anti-Venom's obviously on the list. Black Bolt's on the list. Nobody else. There's quite literally garbage, 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 garbage. So many characters on this pool that I'm not going to touch under any circumstances. So for me, Bio Gear goes to Symbiote Spider-Man, or I could spend a little bit of it to bring up like a Ms. Marvel. Can I farm her yet? Yay. Yay me. And again, Ms. Marvel really just a concession to anything that requires city or city hero characters. She is a reasonable character pool for that. Just to throw off that city hero too, just so we're all on the same page. City. As there are events that require specifically city heroes. Ghost Rider, Ms. Marvel are some of the highest impact characters for that. Squirrel Girl is a great option. Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage kind of suck. Punisher kind of sucks. Night Nurse is a fine option as she does have healing value as a skill character. Symbiote Spider-Man, no question, but hard to access. No, Frank Castle. You're still fine. You're still in possession of one of the strongest characters in the game. Don't you worry, my friend. Yeah, Ms. Marvel needs crits. Everyone else on this pool, like, I'm telling you right now, if you aren't in Dark Dimension 4, like, in it, you really don't have to worry about these characters as a war defense team. Honestly, you probably didn't have to worry about multiple man and shit, too. But, and this is incredibly important, there's other things to worry about these characters for than that. So don't worry about new characters when you're progressing the game. That's how they want you to play. They want, like, let's be clear, the game developers want you to play the game where the newest thing is going to absolutely be the best thing for you at all times. And in some situations, it is. Silver Surfer or Kestrel are examples of really powerful characters that will help you no matter what. White Tiger's not. Moon Knight's not. Polaris is not. You know, like those are characters that they don't stand on their own ceremony. They are part of something that means that you would be investing a lot of time, effort, energy, money, unlocking and investing in these characters that will actually just hold you back from progressing in another more meaningful way, like harder value in raids. One thing I would always recommend is make sure that you can contribute as much as you can to raids and war before you start worrying about what the newest, shiniest thing is. Eventually, you will get to the point where you will unlock the newest, shiniest thing through gameplay, like through a campaign character, through blitzing and whatever, and you will be capable of being current, being the definition. So that's that. Sorry, this is talking to me for some reason. Okay. So, again, we just checked city heroes instead of bio. Skill characters it's kind of the same. So, my skill character pool is Zemo and half of Kestrel. The other characters that I'm looking to give skill gear to, what have I bought this month? Kestrel and a $1.99 offer. And the next thing I'm going to buy is the 3000 energy pack when it comes up. And then I'll have whatever, like maybe around like less than $10 to buy random stuff with. So we'll see how that works out. Unless some pack comes out between now and the energy bundle, which is the only offer that's like statistically and consistently one of the best buys for your money. There's really not much. Killmonger is probably getting the next pool of my skill gear investment because of his Wakandan military mercenary skill blaster villain global tags. Like he has every tag that matters because he's the best or one of the better characters on with all of the tags. So I'm gonna get a lot of value out of him. Night Nurse is an option for skill gear. We do not talk about garbage characters. We do not talk about garbage characters. We do not talk about garbage characters. Taskmaster, Red Guardian, and Colleen Wing are the options for me. I'm not going to unlock Colleen Wing. It's incredibly... Like, she is a 100 shard blitz unlock. She does not exist to me. And let me be incredibly clear. I have enough cores that I could buy a lot of Colleen Wing offers in addition to Blitz and maybe unlock her. And that's still a giant waste of cores because Colleen Wing, for me as a player in this game right now, is not going to impact what I do. She's nowhere near as good as people are talking about. Where's Healmonger? I have an ISO on Killmonger? Ah, you're right. He needs to be Healmonger. And then Nick Fury, Nick Fury's gonna be stuck at like level 10 for so long when I actually unlock him because there's no problem. So Killmonger is the guy who's getting the skill gear. And again, I'm not really worried about putting skill gear into Killmonger right now. Blue gear is easy. It just moves where it needs to. If I had everyone but Red Guardian maxed and are decent on training mats, what would you buy in the Arena Store? I'd buy Red Guardian up to 6-star. Once I had a 6-star Red Guardian, I would stop buying him. And then I would start banking Arena credits for whatever the next character they add at 975 for two reasons. One, they're going to add a next character at 975. And two, it's likely Red Guardian will be dropped down to 500 when that happens. And when that happens, it will be cheaper overall to invest in Red Guardian if the need be. You'd basically be getting 10 shards. Roughly, I mean, the price isn't the same, but it might as well be, right? The difference between, was it 975 and 1,000 is negligible to you as a player. So you're getting twice as many Red Guardian shards. That's when I would worry about it. Hey, Pats. Yeah, you save Arena credits after 6 because Red Guardian, even though you're going to need him for 7-star for the event, trust me on this. I cannot stress enough. Are you able to hit all the milestones in Blitz yet? All 400k your roster. I'm able to... okay, so I can get to about 500k in Blitz with the amount of blitzing I do. Completing all of the milestones is still outside of what I'm capable of right now, mostly because of my investment decisions. If I ever came up to the point where completing all the milestones was something that's relevant to me, I'm not particularly worried because it will happen over time anyway. I'm pessimistic? Yes, but here's the difference. If I wait to buy him when he's cheaper and his price doesn't drop, I'm still waiting to buy him when he's cheaper. I'm not choosing to wait. I'm not making the decision because I know he'll be cheaper soon. I'm making the decision because I'm not going to spend 9,975 arena credits 60 times to get a 7th red star on a character. Like, it's just not going to happen. Not when eventually it will be cheaper. And I really don't think that, like, we're talking about the 7-star skill military event. First of all, it's going to take you 3 months to get to that event in the... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you, Nate. That event's going to take you 3 months minimum for you to max out. You're going to do 3 at a time. So as long as you get within 2 months of the event starting, as long as you can get Red Guardian and the rest of the team to 6-star, you should be reasonably acceptable. And now he's been out for long enough that it's probably likely most people will have him at least unlocked. That's it. You only get to go a little bit further every time. And that's for endgame players. For newer players, don't even worry about it. You'll unlock a 3-star Red Guardian through random events. You know, like, you'll get random character shards. Those things matter. It's more likely that you're going to unlock a 3-star Red Guardian than you unlocking a Symbiote Spider-Man. You know, like, the costs are just so dramatically different. How do you think Dolphin will do in Kestrel campaign? Not well. I don't believe it will do well, which is one of the reasons why I bought Kestrel. Kestrel 1 was a purchase because I didn't think I'd be able to get through the hard on my own. And 2, I think she would be necessary for me to be successful in that campaign, considering the fact that the character pool is not characters that are particularly useful to a newer player. So Surfer, Captain Marvel, and Kestrel are going to have to do a lot of work in that campaign. On my main account, I'm going to giggle as my 115k Silver Surfer solos that fight. On this account, not so much. If I could only bring one character in, it would be Silver Surfer, and I would laugh as he solos whatever the hard mode fights are, but, you know. That's not the world we live in. What am I missing? Mutant. Mutant is actually one of my more fun topics because this is hilarious, right? None of these characters are worth investing in. None of these characters right now for my game have any impact. I do not believe Kestrel will be required for anything that happens in the future, Brian. No idea. Yo no sé. Yeah, none of these mutants matter. Here's the first mutant that matters. Here's the second mutant that matters. Here's the third mutant that matters. The fourth mutant that matters. Well, they're not gonna, Nemesis, they're not gonna remove current milestone orbs, but there really is no reason to save them. Unless you're specifically saving them for Emma, then, like, whatever. Like, they're not gonna just, like, dick you on the orbs. You'll be able to open something, you know what I'm saying? So you should be fine. Yeah, there's not a single character in this pool that's worthy of investment. You could probably farm characters, like, I am buying Blob in the arena store. He is a character I want to get to 5-star for Magneto. In addition, I'm also buying Heimdall for the unlock. These are the 2 characters I'm currently buying in the arena store. After these 2 characters are 5-star, we're probably going to start moving on to Crystal. So Blob will finish first, most likely. And then Heimdall. So Blob will finish. I'll be buying Crystal. And I'm not split farming for any reason. I just happen to have an excess of arena currency. So I just buy them when I buy them. I'm not in a particular hurry to get anything done because the characters I have right now are strong enough to do what I need them to anyway. As for this, I am spending my credits very frivolously. Very cautiously. I am buying Sinister and Ghost. Those are the only 2 characters I'm touching. Pyro, no. Merc Sniper, LOL. any other character, no fucking chance. Sinister and Ghost are the only 2 characters I'm buying. As for gear, only in an emergency when am I spending it. Why am I saving all these credits? Gold gear. I learned from Defenseless and through playing the game that this is the best place to get access to gold gear pieces in the game. So I'm going to sit here and wait until I'm level, 70? And they add gold gear pieces to this so that I have a bank so I could buy the things I need when they show up. We are not looking at characters like X-23 yet. I understand she unlocks a character, but I'm also a spender, so I am willing to make a purchase as time goes up to kind of hedge those bets. Here, I am actually just buying... I tend to buy low red stars on characters that I'm going to use. 65, thank you. Yeah, you're right. I tend to buy 1 or 2 red stars on characters that are on the pool of useful. As of right now, nobody stands up. Like, generally, I might buy a Magneto, but I don't care. And the reason why is, there's no reason... If you're saving up 100 credits so you can bring a character from 4 to 5, you're going to hang yourself. Like, you're going to be miserable. Like, don't worry about that. You would be better served increasing your dupe pool so that when you do eventually open orbs, you can feed into Elite Fours faster. That's kind of the itsy bitsy spider game you want to play. Like, you climb the water spout, you move up. We're not saving credits here. We're not saving 150 so you can go from 4 to 5. You probably don't have the 4s you want. But buying 1 or 2 on characters you're using, huge impact. Psylocke is close. Magneto, obviously. I'm not in a hurry for these guys. All of these characters are useless. All of these characters are useless. We don't have to touch them. But I am just slowly accruing and buying random characters, random red stars. Here, I'll buy anything I see under 20, and that's it. Because I don't really spend these too much right now. And then, of course, as you know, every day, I open 1 costume credit orbs. 1, because cores are useless. And 2, I think it will be absolutely fucking hilarious if I could buy a costume for the low cost of spending 2 months worth of 160. Surfer should be in the promotion store. Surfer should be in the promotion store right now. Silver Surfer has been over 45 days since his release, and they haven't added him. So here's what we're waiting for. Who's the next character being added to the store? Because it should be Surfer. Maybe they pushed it back. Let's be clear. They haven't been doing very well in the whole developing a game people can play category. So maybe they pushed it back. Maybe it was supposed to go live and it didn't. I don't know. Surfer should be in the Red Star store now. If the next character added is, Multiple Man, I think, came out before Polaris. If the next character added to Multiple Man, then they are intentionally skipping Surfer, and we'll figure out why later. Which, of course, would be yet another player negative decision they made because they're kind of jerk faces. Oh, by the way, don't buy this. This is stupid. This is the dumbest thing this is literally flushing cores down the drain. You could buy 4 basic orbs and get more value than this. I'm buying this because it's hilarious. Because this is the dumbest thing I've seen them add to the game. And I think it'll be very funny if I use some of my ridiculously infinite cores that have no value to me in any real and meaningful way, at least right now in the game, to, over the course of 2 months, get enough costume credits to be able to buy whatever costume I want. I think that's going to be hilarious when they release, let's say, a costume that doesn't suck, like Vision and Scarlet Witch costumes, and I just go, and now I have that one. But then again, the cap of these credits is 175k, and if you think that modern Elektra is at 50k, is the most expensive costume, guys, if you think that $50 and, 50k of those credits is going to be what it costs to unlock the next good costume, I got some bad news for you guys, because it's only going to get worse. Because there's going to be some costume on, like, Magneto that's worth, like, 175,000 credits. There's no... That cap... Look at that cap. Look at it. Look at how ridiculous that cap is. What is that cap for? Why would it be 175,000? Why is the cap of those 175,000 when, like, we can't even see the caps on these ones? It's because there's gonna be stuff that's worth tons. Cyclops wearing the Cyclops is right t-shirt? I'm in. Gimme. Do a quick scan of gear. Gold really doesn't have much value to me in this game at this point, so I'm using it to pick up gear pieces that I have a lack of. Ooh, premium orb. Whee! Sweet. Sweet. I don't like this. I open an orb whenever I'm under 500k. Solid pull? Not for me. For you, maybe. 15 anti-venom shards. And again, that's what I've been talking about. I will accrue random amounts of character shards on random characters just through play. That 15 anti-venom pull from the premium orb, that's awesome. But it is fundamentally useless to me right now. One day it'll matter, and then when I'm playing the game one day in the future, I'll be like, man, thank God I pulled those random shards. But today, there's probably a higher pool of characters that are more impactful to me right now. Like, just off the top of my head, Mr. Sinister. No, we're not investing. So yeah, mutant characters, there's no mutant characters worth early investment. Emma is the exception to that rule, but realistically, if you manage to pick up an Emma early, it doesn't matter, you're gonna spend your money. Sinister is the first mutant that I would consider investing in. And then, of course, at some point, in order to unlock Magneto, there is a slight investment I'm gonna end up having in 1, 2, 3, you know, what, 4 and 5, assuming these are the two. But yeah, long shot, get out of here, you peasant. Get out of here, you peasant magic. If I got Shatterstar, I'd be more inclined to work on long shot, because those two together are pretty cool. Let's look at some arena stuff too. Get out of here. Give me this. Usually I'm somewhere in top 100 of my arena. Yeah. It's not that problematic. There's no fights that are particularly problematic, but again, the defenses are questionable right now. So this is the best fight I can do at 87. No one is using Kestrel, and I don't have to worry about you, so I'll just throw Kestrel in. So this is a 19k Kestrel. Actually, Kestrel is definitely better than Ghost Rider for what I'm doing here. Shatterstar's next battle pass soon. Oh, they confirmed that? Dope. Super excited. I mean, I will never buy a battle pass again on either of my accounts. Battle pass, you said? Or strike pass? Yeah, sorry, wait. Which one? Battle pass or strike pass? Like, is he going into RTA or is he going into gameplay? RTA pass? Never buying one of those again. Those are useless. Wait, they're back-to-backing Polaris? The actual official title of the Battle Pass is the Mojo Pass. So, Battle isn't RTA. It's the official title is the Mojo Pass. Just like the official title of the Battle Pass for the regular is the Strike Pass. So the Battle Pass is either Polaris Strikes Back. That's super interesting to me. That is very interesting. Although, if they're releasing the character as a Strike Pass character, I think it's like way cooler that they did that. If that's how they're gonna release a character, if it's 3 weeks of that, oh, that's way better. Cause I'm like super pissy about the Strike Pass being a release method, but if it's like 2 months or 3 months of a character, that's way better. The Strike Pass sucks for endgame players. It's actually not unreasonable. Zemo, come back. All right, it's fine, I guess. Give me those buffs. Why is RTA pass bad? I don't know. Bad is a state. Why do I think it's bad? Why is it like, you know, what do you mean? I can't tell you why something's bad. I can just tell you why I think it's stupid. Because I'm not going to waste my time playing a game mode that isn't fun so I can get a handful of extra pieces of gear and then allow the opportunity to give them money. Thank you. Bless you for allowing me to play a game mode that's boring. Thank you. I appreciate you. Popeyes yesterday? Popeyes yesterday was as good as it is right now. Yeah. But again, I'd rather spend $20 in one of 15 other games that I enjoy playing than do any amount of RTA fights and then give them $20. That's it. Even on, like, now, early on, it was, like, super important for Dark Dimension 4, and the characters were a little bit, like, spicy, right? So the only thing that will ever get me to buy an RTA pass again is if they introduce a character into it that I feel like the extra shards on, like a legendary unlock one. So, hypothetically say, just hypothetically, that the next legendary is unlocked by Heroes for Hire. Hypothetically. In theory. If that were the case, and then they put a Strike Pass character like Colleen Wing, or RTA Pass character like Colleen Wing, well then I'd be way, way more interested. Way more interested in picking up those extra shards, because the effort, because of the value of that character, so high. Red Guardian, get out of here. You know he's in a store, right? Do you know I could spend 0% of my time doing RTA battles and still get a 7-star Red Guardian in like a month? You know what I mean? Let's check my defense. So, like, Kestrel sucks on defense. That's the problem. Kestrel is not a good defense character, but Hela's a really good defense character. Minerva's a little bit lower impact on defense, so let's try this team. Yeah. That doesn't mean I didn't buy them in the past, and that doesn't mean that you might not consider them. You might be like, yo, guys, seriously, I click auto for like 10 minutes and I complete all my things. And I'm like, wow, in that same 10 minutes, I played a different game that I enjoyed. And then I gave them $20 and enjoyed the game for another 20 minutes. Or in like the other game I played, Dragon Champions, I'm like, what? I gave them $10 and then I got like 8, like it's literally triple the rewards for the battle pass. If you pay, it's triple the rewards and it's like better stuff too. Like it's almost ridiculous how good the battle pass value is. Like you'd be silly not to buy it. You know? You're like, wow, this is great. Here it's like, and you can complete all, like, every week unlocks the next tier, but the other ones don't go away. Right? So it's like, wow, I have to farm 1,000 things. Cool. Then next week it's like, do another 1,000 things. I'm like, okay, but I can still do the old 1,000 things? They're like, yeah. Oh, I complete that battle pass in like the last week every month without paying attention. I'm like, oh, cool, done. Yeah. Oh, no, Frank Castle. That's going to be way worse. You're not looking forward. You're not seeing the future that I see. You want to know how most costumes are going to be released into the game? Right here, guys. Cheers, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, just to throw it out there. Dragon Champions. Download it. Promo code. Free stuff. It plays like Marvel Strike Force. They just don't hate you. And that's my plug. My shameless plug for a company that's paying me to say that. SS Doc. Silver Surfer Doc. I don't know who the other SS is. Emma, Black Bolt. Silver Surfer, Doc. You mean Sinister? Sinister, Doc, Emma, Silver Surfer, and Black Bolt team? Yeah, team's awesome. Yeah, that team's awesome. Promo code, Tony's gift. It's basically a gift from me, Tony. The first time they said, hey, what do you want your promo code to be? I was like, boobs. They're like, no. I was like, bubes. B-E-W-B-S. No. Tony's gift. Yeah, that one's fine. Yeah. You could play for 10 minutes a day. So here's a question I want to ask for you guys. And you can either leave it here, or if you're watching this video later, leave in the comments. Would you prefer a game that you had to log in twice and play for a half an hour? Or a game that you have to log in like 6 times a day, but only play for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, assuming the time ends up even out. So a game that you have to log in 6 times a day, have to, not can, like in order to complete what you have to do in the day. Would you prefer a game that you have to log in 6 times throughout the course of the day for 15 minutes, or 2 times for 45 minutes? You know, that's what I'm trying to get an idea. Say it here, leave it in the comments. I just wanted to get an idea, not because I'm building a game or anything called Heroes of the GOP. Oh, they didn't want that. It had to be a certain level of where like it had to be there was a limitation. I think it was like 9 or 10 characters. Oh yeah, you're gonna have energy until you're level 60. You're welcome. I'd rather have to log in the least amount. Oh, some people... So I would prefer a game that I can play for as long as I want, like Genshin Impact. For me, I like games like Genshin because I could play for 9 hours a day if I want to, but it's really, really, really easy to like not log in for almost an entire day and do everything I need to in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Tony's package was too long. I love you guys. Yeah, this is the, like, my code is dope. Like, even if you don't care about the game, Dragon Champions, iOS and that. Dragon Champions. Download it, use the code, play for like 20 minutes. If you're like, I don't like this game, that's fine. But if you use the code, you're gonna get so much more stuff than you would that you're probably gonna enjoy a lot more of the game faster. You're not gonna feel like, what do I do now without spending, you know, free to play or otherwise. The game is super free to play friendly because it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter whether or not you can do something, right? Because you're still able to do everything else. Your battlegrounds, you're not facing off against some guy who's stronger than you. You're facing off against a guy who has the same rough power as you. TCP. So you're like, what? I'm fighting another guy who's doing this? Super easy. I guess I'd like a game where I can log in and play whatever I don't have to spend time. Right. 2x, 2x. Why is Popeyes? Nice. That's enough for Dragon Champions, though. I want to keep going on this. Challenges I have... So, good news is I can beat this on 3-star challenge. The bad news, right, is... Let's look at the Protector and Controller characters, starting from the bottom. None of these are helping, right? None of these characters are helping. 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 The reason I say none of these characters is because I can just put Yo-Yo on this team, but, like, I don't have a replacement for the other one of these characters, and if I have one Protector, Yo-Yo's useless. That's Future Rev. So that's the problem. I want to use Yo-Yo and replace Cap, but I can't replace Hulk because Widow is too weak for this, so. And, ultimately, I actually still do need tier 1 ability materials, so I don't mind doing this right now. Anyone who's been playing the game for long enough knows that the lack of these, as you progress, actually kills you. The lack of green, the fact that they don't just even have 15 at every tier on the way up, is something that's going to help you. Let's do some ISO farming. That's a good thing. Let's look at some ISOs. So these got all my main characters are 3 except Thor, but he's fine. Ghost Rider. So I guess I could probably look a little bit more. Oh, okay. Getting her to 3 is a little bit better for what I'm doing. Because we're going to be using Minerva for the foreseeable future of the game. Minerva's one of those characters. Just to also to throw out. Surfer's going to gear tier 15. Minerva's going to gear tier 15. Zemo's going to gear tier 15. Right? Hela's going to gear tier 15. And now we're out of characters that I'm bringing to gear tier 15, you know? So I've already have so many characters that I plan on using. People like to ask, like, what do you plan on doing for Dark Dimension 2? Right? It's like 1, 2, 3. Yes, I understand that they both take Mystic Gear. No, I don't care. And then probably Zemo as number 4, and then depending on whether I unlock Ghost or Symbiote Spider-Man, one of those 2 characters. So I actually have the majority of the characters I'm going to be using for Dark Dimension 2 already, which is huge. Like, absolutely huge. Ghost is a character I desperately want, and I am trying to pick her up as quickly as I can, but, you know, RNG be RNG, yo. Right, so I have no more orbs here. We are not really buying Toad because of these. And when I start... Oh, garbage. When these are not being saved, I just open them whenever I'm trying to work on a character. You know what I mean? So instead of just opening right now, I wait for, like, oh, I want to invest in, we'll say for this, Yo-Yo. So I'll click on Yo-Yo, and then when I look for the orb, I'll go to Blitz Orbs and open enough so I can upgrade the character. It's been convenient for me. I always tend to open like 2 or 3, maybe in certain situations 4, and get the number I need for that one piece of gear, as well as extra resources in that situation. Here, these things are getting opened on cooldown. Oh. I said I was selling out. It's kind of the same. If I put my hat forward, I'm not going to say I'm selling out. DD3 question. I have enough spores for the screen. Scream. It's never Carnage. Ooh, Gamma Ray orbs. Yay me. Garbage. So again, I'm not saving these. There's whatever's in them doesn't help me now. It can't help me. So I'm just gonna open them all at some point. No problem, Jeremy. We don't open this ever because this orb doesn't matter. I don't have access to the Orange Gear War Orb 2 yet, so I'm not spending any of these credits. I pretty much open red stars on cooldown. There's no reason to save any. I didn't see what Frank said. What did Frank say? Carnage all day long? Yeah, Carnage is quite literally the worst character in Dark Dimension. What is Carnage's value? What does Carnage add to that team? I'm not being like sarcastic. I'm just trying to get the talk out so you like see it. Keep in mind, here comes Forward Hat Tony telling you not to bring in Carnage. Carnage Tony telling you not to. Debuffs. Carnage doesn't debuff. Carnage just puts, yeah, okay. So Carnage's debuffs are worse than Scream's, so that's a comparative 1-to-1. Scream removes buffs way better than Carnage and puts higher impact debuffs like Disrupt and Offense down. The biggest value to Carnage on any team is that whenever a character gets to red health, he increases the turn meter. In Dark Dimension, you will not be getting characters to red health in any way that makes that relevant. That said, if you do happen to bring Carnage in, one really cute thing you can do is put Healer on him, and then he ends up being like a bonus healer with a giant health pool. Scream hit, yeah. It is a better investment to get a Carnage hat from a website than it is to put Orange Gear into Carnage for Dark Dimension anything. That said, you can get Carnage to like gear tier 14 for like raids. That's fun. Yeah, that's it. If you're bringing Carnage up, like, it's not the worst option, but we're doing comparisons here. Disrupt isn't that good, but there are situations where Disrupt is the best thing in the game. Because you can prevent a character from taunting, which means you don't have to clear the taunt, which means you can continue doing what you're doing. You could prevent a character from going into stealth. You could prevent a character from gaining defense up. So it is a good buff when used in the right situations. And in Dark Dimension, there are so many more situations where you have control over just outright damage. And the cool thing about Scream is she is both control and outright damage. The downside to Scream is all 4 of her hit points do not like to hang out. Yeah. I have a gear tier 14 Carnage because I brought him into Dark Dimension 3 and I was like, never again. Never again. Like, that's just, like, that's learning, though. That's, like, I learned. I thought the same thing. I was like, whoa, Carnage is dope. And then I brought him into Dark Dimension, and he was quite literally useless. Scream ult reminds turn meter? What? Also, whenever any character dies, Scream offense up all the symbiotes, which is hilarious when, like, your Night Nurse dies at DD4. My Night Nurse dies at DD4 immediately, and everyone goes, go! Go faster! It's hilarious. Okay, so we went through all the stores. That's pretty much everything I need to worry about there. Quick check on campaigns. Campagnes. We are... It's nothing changed. I end the stream... I stream for 2 hours, from 5 to 7. The healer trick is pretty dope. I thought other... Yeah, it's not to heal... It's not to heal the other symbiotes. It's to heal whoever character you bring in that isn't a symbiote. Like, putting healer on Carnage means you can use Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, Carnage, Yo-Yo, and Black Bolt in raids. And then Yo-Yo and Black Bolt are constantly healed by Carnage's insane health pool without having to worry about anything else. And Anti-Venom's basic. It's really actually awesome. That's one of the best teams I use, by the way. If you don't have like the time to invest in characters like Scream and Venom, but you have Carnage and Carnage, Anti-Venom, and Symbiote Spider-Man, Black Bolt and Yo-Yo are two bio characters that don't take those materials that will just like help you run through it. So yeah, stuck here. Obviously, if I'm stuck there, I'm stuck here. But, you know, I am finished that. Nexus, we are waiting again till level 70. Nothing matters. Cosmic, I believe, unlocks at level 60. Oh, no, we're done here. So, I can farm Ghost Rider. There's no reason to. None of these characters are farmable or farm-worthy. Stature, I can farm. And I'm kind of thinking about doing it on occasion. It's questionable. Mystic does not unlock until I'm level 63, so 3 levels from now, or 2.5 levels or so from now, and this is the one that's gonna get me... What's the Mystic 3 reward? What's the good thing at the end of Mystic 3? I don't remember. Anyway, this is the only thing so far that I've unlocked that's worth farming. And there is technically a double drop on some other characters right now. In general, I do use double drops to take advantage of farming characters that I will have value for me in the future. Loki, thank you. Loki. Thanks, appreciate it. So let's quick sort hand out. Vision? Yeah, that's up there. So, Electra... Yeah, we didn't even 3-star this? What? 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 Oh, I need 3 villains? Yeah, Loki's 3-6? Okay, so I have to get to Mystic 3-6. Cool. Zemo, do it! Wait, did the wave drop already? Dead, dead, dead. Yay, us! We're the best. Wow, Greg looks shiny. Stop. So, yeah, like, is it the best use of resources? No, not at all. But because it's a double drop, at least any energy I spend now, I get twice as much for the effort that I would have gotten later when I'm gonna farm them for the hand event. So it's not unreasonable to me. Oh God, Mantis, why? We're not even looking at you. Let's go back to hand. Hand Sentry farmed, Electri farmed. Hand Sorceress has, I believe, 2... No, she lost a node recently, right? She only has 1. Oh, she has 2 still. So I don't mind spending my energy today on these, yeah. Except that 2 times 2 is 0. Yeah, but whether I was going to get 0 today or 0 some other time, at least today there's a non-zero chance that it's the minimum I get is 4. You know? So, like, there's 4 instead of 2. There's 12 instead of 6. So this energy expenditure is worth, was worth more. And it generally does trend that way. So, we'll rank her up. I would rather guaranteed drops than double drops, but... Hand Assassin has a node, I believe. No. So, as of right now... Does Hand Archer have a node? No. Did you buy both CW packs on your main? CW? No. No. 1 Colleen win pack is more than enough for me to get her to 5-star. Like... Even conservatively, a 3-star character, I'm only down, what is it? It's 130 plus 80, 210? 210. I'm gonna get 210 shards of Colleen Wing, either from the Blitz or from whatever follow-up event that I would need to get her to 5-star if need be anyway. No matter what, it will cost me less than $50 from this point on to get a 5-star Colleen Wing. Me, anyway. I don't know what anyone else is. And I don't care about getting any higher than a 5-star Colleen Wing, because the reason Colleen Wing is going to be good on defense is because so many of the members of this community use the Warbot to make their decisions instead of to help them learn about the game, that like nobody's going to know how to beat that team. The first 3 videos that are going to come out is how to beat this team, and people are going to fail at following that advice, and then a month later, the Warbot's going to have it. So same for Misty? Yeah. I don't know what Misty's release is. I think she's a Blitz, but that's it. Am I skipping Guardians completely in this account? I wouldn't say I'm skipping them, but they're not target farming because because I'm spending money. Because I'm spending money, I don't need the value of Star-Lord in the early game. I don't need to put together that raid team. They're both Blitz releases. Yeah, then yeah. Yeah. How is it? SS? What was that? Yeah, we don't need to bring her to 11. But if she has those available, yeah, there we are. Also, it's kind of weird that Kestrel does take tech and skill gear. Yeah, absolutely this. And then we'll... Yay! We're doing it, guys! There we go. That's all I care to. I just don't like characters being under 20k if I'm using them more, like, reliably. That should be enough for me to do my arena. What's the best? I always look for the best fight. So 75 was the number coming. The fact that this doesn't always show the highest up you could punch is obnoxious to me. So, like, I want to showcase how I could beat up Hellas and early game Sinisters now. Right? Like, that entire comp is destroyed. Actually, no, it's not. That stops Kestrel. I forgot. That said, it still doesn't matter because Sinister is not cloning a threat. When is the Kestrel campaign go live? 8 o'clock tonight. So in an hour after this is... An hour from now, basically. I don't think I need her. I really don't think I need Minerva for this. I think Minerva's still good value, but... I think Zemo Hela ability block the entire team is going to win this fight for me. I don't read the blog post. Let me clarify. I'm not saying I don't read the blog post when I'm streaming. I'm saying there's no information they can give me that matters. So I just don't read the blog post. I wait for someone smarter than them to tell me if there's anything that matters. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Huh. But if that means if we're getting a... She's not gonna one-shot him, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. No, Hela died. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Who's gonna win this fight? Is it the Incredible Hulk or Silver Surfer? It's Silver Surfer. Yeah. That's why this team wouldn't work on defense. It's too easy to pick it apart. But as far as an offense team, that was just like, at no point in time was I ever afraid. Surfer's that strong. How much you think they're going to charge for Ultron Red Star currency? How much do you think they're going to charge for it? Maybe I'll start doing more attacks every day. That's fair, Thorhammer. I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing more attacks every day. Some days I'll do like 3 total attacks. Some days I do 2 and then I call it a day. I don't... There are things that matter. 75 for 3? Yeah, and it takes 100. That's fair. I don't know who else to work on. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Who else should I be working on? We already know I'm not touching Surfer, Captain Marvel, or any Wave 1 Avenger. Should I just start throwing more stuff into Kestrel? Keep in mind, I'll get some from the campaign. Like, I might not get a 4 or 5 star Kestrel, but I'll have like a 3-star Kestrel easily. And that should be more than enough for the foreseeable future of the game. But who knows? Maybe I will actually be able... If I can complete all of Hard, that's all I'm going to care about. At that point, I might start paying attention. So that's what I'll do. If I can complete all of Hard, I'll start caring about Arena again, just to help replenish my core base. Again, keep in mind, as a spender... Cores are the easiest thing to throw extra money at. You're like, $5, whatever. I'll buy $5 worth of cores, $10 worth of cores. Do you want people to join some Dragon Champions? Guys, if you're in my Discord, which is linked somewhere in this area, jump on in and talk to people about Dragon Champions. Someone will give you the Dragon Champions tag, and you're more than welcome to join in. Dragon Champions is a game where you don't have to be at max level to do max level content. You just got to be in an alliance with someone who is. So, it's good. As Guardians? Well, I'm never buying Sif. Wait, you're telling me I should work on As Guardians? Why? Can't farm Loki, can't farm Hela, so what am I working on here? I mean, I'm farming Heimdall. But there's no world. Like, you can't farm Hela, you can't farm Loki. It's a waste of time to farm everyone else. Like, I'd rather have a Sinister and a Ghost unlocked than have a 5-star Sif and be like, whew, now just these 2 guys. You know? Like, I'd rather be good now and later than theoretically be good later. But that's just me. And it's the same thing, too. Like, the Sinister 6... God, this team sucks. It's gonna take so much effort to get these guys up, but because Shuri is now available, everybody? No. No, but I also have no, like, I have absolutely no priority on IW. None whatsoever. I don't care about her. The second they made Shuri a permanent unlock, what they told me is I don't have to farm these guys anymore. I was already so deep into the shards that I was like, I might as well finish Swarm and Rhino. Like, I was literally like 30 away by the time it happened. But these guys, I throw energy at them when I have extra energy. You know, like at the end of the night, if I'm like, oh, I already spent and farmed the things I want. Generally speaking now, my energy, all my resources go exclusively to gear and a handful of character shards. But yeah, dude, IW, no impact. No impact on my roster. That's why when people say like, you should start with the Sinister 6 because you get 2 whole legendaries. It's like saying like, you should buy 3 copies of Time Cop for $10 so you don't have to only get 1 for $5. Like, I don't know, man. The 2 legendaries you get, like the 2 at, yeah, that's the point. I am spending on this account, so I'll get them when I need them. The 2 Sif could easily, yes, my Sif will be 4-star by the time Loki and Hela are farmable. Like, you know what I mean? But well, specifically Hela. That's why there's no reason to farm her. Because like, you guys forget that there are things that, conservatively speaking, did I farm Squirrel Girl? Did I target Domino? Cable? Vision? I can't even farm Vision. You know, like, look at the amount of character shards I have accrued through things I'm not farming. I have not once purchased Sif. This isn't like lucky. This is just the way the game goes now. Like, you're gonna get so much of a character. Super chat me for 1,000, Zeta. Send me $1,000 in a super chat. If we're just coming in and making demands. Would a forage be a better term? Forage for Squirrel Girl. Nice. If you'd like to see me do a raid node, though, you're more than welcome to rewind the video where I did one raid node. Yeah, there's nothing else. Quick view, just to compare it. Here's where we are at 60 days with $130 spent or something. Here's the list of all of the money I've spent so far, all the offers, everything. This is fine. It's actually meh. Oh, the last thing after the stream last night, because 8 o'clock is when the reset happened, and they put that $4.99 Mega Orb offer. That's something I want to talk about. So the last purchase I made in May, when I still had $7 left over, I made a purchase of $4.99. I bought the Mega Orb. So that was the actual official last purchase I made. For everybody to be aware. But yeah, this is all I purchased so far. This is the end of week 1, so week 2 is a whole new set. I only have $33 left to spend. $24.99 is probably going towards that energy bundle, but who's to say? You know, we'll figure that out as time goes on. Realistically, I probably am not going to look too much at energy bundles until after I'm level 70. Ironically, they will help you get there. So here's where we were. Here's Defenseless right here. And just to kind of take a quick comparative look.
Magneto. That's something I'm gonna have to.
Shut up. Shut up, stupid Tony. Why am I sorting specifically by mutants? So, at this point in the game, we had gotten another Captain Marvel. That's actually a great 1-for-1. Let's see. So my Captain Marvel is roughly the same, actually, on the accounts. We were working our way towards Groot, obviously still working towards Guardians, but the impact, just the amount of ability to access resources as a free-to-play player was dramatically less. Period. So I am not, again, looking at the strongest characters, I think Hela was 20k, because my fat ass is in the way here. But I think it's like 23, 20, you know. Looking at the top 5 characters that I, like, was working on at the time. Like my 3 beat it. The game is such a different spot now. Access to Zemo, Wave 1 Avengers being a useful team. Not even funny. My level was comparatively like around the same amount of behind, right? Oh, I don't have that hoodie anymore. Yeah, so comparatively, like, we're not even in the same conversation here. You know what I'm saying? Like, 89 out of 99, like, I'm gonna be leveled up in the next couple of days. That's the biggest issue that, like, you notice from being able to spend more cores more frequently. My core count versus my gold count, that's the biggest thing I want you to look at. My cores, because it's harder for a free-to-play player to grow in arena, I was holding top 200 up to 5, somewhere between 2 and 500 in arena on the free-to-play account. And if I was investing in the characters that I had access to earlier, my gold would be significantly less, but I wouldn't be able to accomplish anything meaningful. It's called the trap. It's the new player trap. It's, I'm going to work on this team, and they're going to be the bestest, and they're not, and you don't do that. But I was sandbagging a ton of gold because, again, there was nothing I could do with that gold that had any relevance to me. I could make my numbers would be higher, but that didn't make any bit of difference. Just kind of looking through the scrubbing. The Sinister 6 characters, look at how I haven't spent $1 on a single Sinister 6 character, right? Look at just the difference in how much time I accrued by being able to farm them earlier. Now, granted, Mysterio we could just remove because he was a node farm, but the rest of them did not change. These are all the same access level. The fact that I could just start farming these characters because I was willing to spend money set me almost double where I was here. You know, like, again, we're gonna just leave Mysterio a little bit out of it. He has a node now. Previously, he was just in one spot. But that wouldn't matter. Like, the investment I was able to put into these characters to help me through the early game, the ability to target them as they became available, insane. Insane value for this. And you started with Hela. God, the offers. I want to see War. Wars are roughly the same. Not to throw it out there. I'm still basically... I could beat a team or two with, like, my real characters. Wave 1 Avengers can beat a team usually. The Supernatural can beat a team. Or Hella Natural, or whatever you want to call it. But most of the time, I end up going in... Most of the time, I end up going in and then taking, like, Zemo against this and winning. CM against that and winning. Surfer against that and winning. So that's 3 fights that I get full credit for in my raid. So I'm just counting how many times I can win. I don't need someone to give me a high five and pat me on the back because I took out a strong team. I'm playing the game so I can have fun and get strong. Right? So, like, I don't care that I'm not strong enough to do it now because I know what strong looks like, so I'm gonna get there later. But I'm in roughly the same spot in War. Yeah, these are funny. What's this? I unlocked Ant-Man. Jesus. That's terrible. What is this? What's up, Kush? Oh, I just don't want to play? This is an arena fight. Yeah. This is me leaning very heavily on the strength of these 3 characters, right? This is like Hela, CM, and Minerva being so good that, like, I just want to see what these arena fights were compared. God help me if I touch anything in YouTube. It's gonna be a nightmare. Hey, it's me. Oh God, look how fat I was. Look at that Punum. Fat Tony. I just want to see what rank I was. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Last thing I want to say before I end the stream. Yeah, top 500 garbage teams. Okay, last thing I want to say, comment section below or right here, anywhere you want. I'm gonna place an over under. I suspect that at 8 o'clock tonight, not only will there be a mistake that they have to compensate for or something along those lines. I don't want to keep this up anymore. For the orb, right? Not only is that a thing that has to happen, right? Like, I think it's going to be hilariously egregious. An over-under? So I'm an over-under being, like... Is it... In football terms, you would bet... I think they're going to score 20 points, the team. Do you think they're going to score over that or under that? So, my over-under is... I'm going to tell you, I think that the mess-up for the Kestrel event is going to affect how you can get Kestrel orbs. So do you think it's going to exist? We all know it's going to be a mistake, right? Because this is Fox Next. So do you think it's going to be worse than that or better than that? Will I stream on reset? Unless I will only do a bonus stream like I did last night. I went live last night at like 9 o'clock for like 3 hours because of the fuck up. Did they announce that? Oh, they did announce that? Yeah. So Kestrel event is supposed to go live in an hour. The over-under is how horrendous or not bad the event will be. I have in my head the idea that players will be able to contribute, but they're going to mess up the orbs again. That's what I believe. Or you're just not going to get the orbs. Do you think it'll be worse than that? Or do you think it'll be less bad than that? Do you think the mistake that they make, because it will be a mistake, is going to be like, oopsie, it didn't go live at the second it went up? Yeah. The worst thing I can think that happens is it goes live. And then we have a very similar problem to what we had yesterday, which is that the character shards, that when you complete something and open it, I actually also have a suspicion that the orbs will not spend. So, just listening here, I think if you get a Kestrel event orb, one specifically, and you open it, I believe that you won't ever get less than one. That's my guess. That's my guess right now. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, do you think that we're going to have a catastrophic failure of the game today? Or do you think we're going to have a small failure of the game today? That's what I'm asking you. Over, under. Catastrophic failure of the game? Small failure of the game. There is no option where everything works well. And if you believe there's an option where everything works well, I got a bridge to sell you. You hope small? I hope that they hire people that know what they're doing. If wishes and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Or what's the other one? If wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean. The reality is they suck at their job. They can't help doing anything wrong. No shards in the orb? Oh, no shards in the orb is the winner. It's not a 50-50. It's like a 80% sure that something's gonna go wrong. It's a 20% chance that whatever goes wrong doesn't matter. You think it releases smoothly? Andrew? I got a bridge to sell you. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. Let me do my end screen. Patreons get their name placed here because they're special, and I want you to know that they're special. These are social medias. I post memes here. No content at all. Just funny shit I find while I'm smoking. That's everything, guys. So have a good night. Have a great day. Be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. I probably am not doing anything this weekend on account of my second injection, my second vaccine shot. So I'm probably going to be on my ass. But hopefully you guys have a good weekend. So have a good night. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Be safe out there.